Why are real estate investors suddenly scooping up properties left and right here in Las Vegas? Stick around, I'm going to show you why. The truth about real estate investing in Las Vegas. Let's dive right into the numbers. Okay, so we're going to start by taking a look at the median price of homes sold in Las Vegas. Let's pan back to the last 10 years. In blue are single family homes and green are condos and townhouses. You can see both have shown steady appreciation over the last 10 years. Particularly if we look at the last 5 years, you'll see the median price for a home went from 300K to hovering right under the 500K mark, which represents an incredible 60% jump or 12% year over year. Now that is not set in stone and it's not guaranteed to be that rate every year. So just a caveat there. Now, if we take the same graph and we throw up the rental rates for residential properties here in red, and let's pan to the last 10 years, you see how the rents pretty much follow the sales prices for properties here. And so what that tells us is the median price for properties sold is a pretty good indicator of where rents will be. Next, let's look at apartment vacancy rates over the last 10 to 15 years. Now, vacancy represents the percentage of properties on the market that do not currently have a tenant but are looking for a tenant. And you can see we are at historic lows at 3.1% vacancy rate, which indicates that there's a lot of demand for people looking to rent. Here is another chart showing the asking price for rent per unit. You can see a relatively sharp increase towards the end of 2021 and into 2022. And those rents have remained at all-time highs. Let's take a look at inventory. Apartment inventory has grown steadily through the years, but not nowhere near the rates that can meet demand. Another important metric that you want to look at as an investor when you're looking for an area to buy is what is the employment rate there and how many jobs are being created there. Why? Because more jobs means more demand. More demand means more rent. See how that works? Here is a map showing the job growth by state year over year from 2023 to 2024. You can see Nevada is top in the nation at 3.8% growth. Here's another statistical chart here. Las Vegas was far and away ahead of all the other metro areas in the country in terms of employment growth. Those are your core metrics that you definitely absolutely want to know and you want to look at before you make your real estate investment. But let's talk about what's coming up in the next couple of years that's going to continue to drive demand for housing in Las Vegas to help boost ROI or return on investment. We have many recent and planned developments that significantly drive real estate values. Let's take a look at some of them. First up, we've got Fontainebleau representing $3.9 billion worth of investment. Then you got the Sphere, which was recently opened, and that represents $2.3 billion of investment. It's a hot tourist attraction. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's gonna blow your mind. We have a Gemini solar project at $1.2 billion. That's more of an infrastructure project that's going to help support some of the driving demand for energy here as a result of these new developments, which drives the need for more energy to make sure that the infrastructure can keep up with the increase in development and population growth. And that's something you want to see. Next up is the Durango Casino and Resort. Now, I've been to this one personally, and I can tell you, it is an awesome casino. It has such a luxury vibe. The locals love it. So many great restaurants. Of course, you have gambling, other fun activities. It has been a driving factor for real estate prices in the Southwest area. And they're not done with that. They're going to be doing massive renovations and improvements in 2025. Then we have the Brightline high-speed rail system, which is going to connect parts of California directly to Las Vegas via high-speed rail. That project represents at least $2 billion worth of capital investment. The goal is to ease the travel between California and Las Vegas, which is seen as a win-win. It's going to boost both economies. Next up, and very exciting, is the Summerlin Studios. You have Sony, Warner Brothers investing billions of dollars, roughly $1.8 billion total, to create new movie studios in Summerlin. And that's going to lead to a lot of new jobs and help diversify Las Vegas's local economy away from tourism. What do you think is going to happen when you have suddenly thousands of people that are taking these jobs and want to live close to where they work and they want a place to rent? See? Las Vegas is getting a baseball team. The Oakland A's are moving here. Are they going to be the Las Vegas A's? We'll see what happens. Regardless of what they name themselves, they're going to have a new ballpark built here, which represents $1.5 billion in capital expenditure to get that built. They just destroyed the Tropicana to make room for that. That's a very exciting development. As a baseball fan myself, we have hockey team, we have basketball team. No, we don't have a basketball team, but we should. We have a football team. We're getting a baseball team. Where's our basketball team at? We have the Lady Rebels though. All right, so let's dive in. Let's take a look at an example of a real property that has seen these kinds of appreciation gains, how much it rented for, how much it was bought for, how much it was leased for, and how much it was eventually sold for. All right, so let's just find a random property or something in an area that I'm relatively familiar with. And let's pick a property here. All right, let's take a look at this one. This is a condo. It was sold in 2021. Let's take a look at the listing. Okay, looks pretty good. It's pretty modern. And this is right in the area of Durango Casino. Now this was purchased before the casino was built. All right, so let's take a look at the history here. Again, it was sold in 2021 and we can see it was put on the market as a rental the next month, and it leased within 8 days at $1,450. All right, now before we think too much about that figure, let's go ahead and take a look at what the cost for this investor would be. Let's assume that we have a 3.5% interest rate, which at that time was pretty normal, and we'll factor in property taxes. We'll do an estimate of insurance based on the property type of the area, and all in all, its monthly payment is around $1,000.38. That's PITI. And you can see it rented for well above that. So that's very good to start. But what's curious here is a couple of years later, now it is 2024, Durango is built, and this unit is back on the market as a rental. This time, it's listed for $1,695 and it leased in 3 days. That is a pretty nice jump in rent in just a couple of years. Now that is a prime example of what a major development like Durango Casino can do to rental rates in the area and real estate prices. Now you might be saying, well, that's great and all, but I can't go back in the past and buy. And you're right. So in this next segment, I'm going to show you what would the numbers look like if you bought today. We'll take some assumptions and do some math to see what kind of returns you may expect. All right, so you want to buy something today. So let's take a quick look. Let's see what's on the market in the same area. And let's say we want to budget ourselves to no more than $350,000. All right, we see a couple of condos popping up here. All right, let's take a look at the first one here, the cheapest one. It's listed at $229,000. Let's look at some of the photos here. Okay, looks pretty nice. So as an investor, I'm thinking, okay, what kind of things do I have to upgrade here to make this a spectacular property? The appliances don't look too old, but it's something you'll definitely have to want to take a look in person, make sure that it's up to snuff. Okay, so let's take these numbers. $229,000, excuse me. And let's take today's interest rates. Let's call it 6.7%. And let's say we're closing today. All right, so our monthly payment would be $1,336. So we want to make sure that the rent we charge is at least that. We don't want a financial burden for ourselves. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a look at what's for rent in the area that is comparable to this property. Now this is a condo. It is approximately 750 square feet with 1 bedroom. So let's go ahead and search for that. Approximate square living feet between 700 to 800. All right, so here we go. We have some active listings currently on the market right now. We can see the price ranges between $1,350 and $1,575, which is all of those prices are north of what you'd want to be at. If we go back to what was actually leased, you'll see a variety of different prices. The highest one at $1,650, and that one was leased just 3 months ago. There were a couple of other properties here that leased for less than where we'd like to be at. It's something you're gonna have to really think about when you buy a property. How much do you have to rent it out for? And the rental comparison has to substantiate that. Ask your real estate agent, make sure you get the latest information about the rental prices and comparables in the area that you're interested in investing. And if you're thinking about Las Vegas, I'm your guy. I'm your guy, man. I'm your guy. Now, another very important thing that you want to consider is that just because a property is listed at a price, if it's listed at 300,000, that doesn't mean that you're gonna buy it for 300,000. If the numbers for you don't make sense, you can offer a figure that would make sense for you. For example, if you're confident that you can get a rent of 1,300 for the property, but with the current asking price, your property insurance mortgage is going to exceed that, then you can offer a number that would work for you. Keep that in mind. Make the offer. They can either say yes or say no. Take your time as an investor. Find the property where the numbers make sense. All right, guys, so there you have it. The truth about real estate investing in Las Vegas. Keep in mind, investments are not guaranteed to go up in value. You do so at your own risk. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content. I'm gonna be putting out videos like this once a week. Hit that like button. Thinking about investing here in Las Vegas? Send me a DM to my Instagram or shoot me a text with your name and email and tell me you're looking to buy an investment property. And let's make it happen. See you on the next one. Peace.